Shalom, shalom, everybody. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Thursday night class, and it's the 10th of September, 2020. And what we're going to do is, like as usual, we're going to do our moment of silence in a recognition of the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing in the earth and in the heavens to bring about Israel deliverance, which was prophesied by Abraham in Genesis chapter 15. The 400-year prophecy. So, with that being said, we're going to give a moment of silence to that, and then we're going to go into our prayer. Okay. Okay. O Lord, we pray unto the Lord, our God. We make our confessions. O Lord, great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee and to them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us a confusion of face as it is this day, to the men of Judah, to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven us, because of our trespass that we have trespassed against thee. As it is written in the laws of Moses, all this evil is come upon us in the land of our captivity, here in the Americas, in the Caribbean, Great Britain, and Africa. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city Jerusalem and thy people and thy holy mountain. O Lord, hear this prayer and cause thy people to shine upon, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people for thy sake. O Lord, open thine eyes and incline thine ears to hear and behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, hearken and forgive and do. Defer not for thine own sake, O Lord, for thy people and your land needs you desperately at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, move some people off here. And I'm going to go to the current events. Anybody got a current event? No current events? Okay.
Okay. Remember I was talking about how they want to change the curriculums in the school to reflect things that have been happening that aren't exactly just for especially our people.
Right.
It's called I listened more to it today. It's called Marxist.
Okay.
And so they are trying to change the curriculum.
Right.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that. I got a chance to listen a little bit more today.
Right. That goes. That's out of Russia.
Yeah.
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 It goes back to Stalin and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of ironic because Russia's been involved in our politics forever. It's like
Right.
what they did in 2016. Yeah, that's crazy. And most of those Jews, those so-called Ashkenazi Jews, that's what they're affiliated with, Marxists.
Right. 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 Yeah.
Right. Okay. Um.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anybody else have any current events? Okay. Yeah, I was gonna. I'm dealing with. I saw a video a couple of probably about a week or so ago, and I was trying to figure out a way how to fit it into one of the classes. And so what it is you can I'm gonna just play snippets of it for the class tonight. And so one guy commented on it. He did a little small video on it. I'm gonna play that now for current events, and the other video gonna be for part of the class. And the name of the video is it too late? Black leaders discussion. But the thing about the discussion is it was held in 1972. And you're going to see some of the people that's in there and some of the things they're saying. A lot of the stuff is irrelevant for the day. But right now, I'm going to play this guy commented off of the video, and I'm going to play some of that, and then we're going to set it up for me to go into the class. Okay, here we go.
Last time review. What is going on in America? What is going on in the world? Well, let's go ahead and get into it and discuss a little bit of this stuff that we have. And it's going to be a real quick talk today because it's going to be one of the last talks that I'm going to have on this particular platform as in-depth. I like to go in-depth. I leave that to my people to do more research. Okay? I watched the program on YouTube the other night called, it was a discussion on the Tony Brown's Black Journal. Is it too late? And it was a panel discussion amongst 10 black leaders. Everybody from Dick Gregory to Reverend Cleage from the Shrine of the Black Madonna. And it's very interesting. They had some very interesting comments, but I took one thing away from that panel discussion in 1972, which, if you do our math, was $48 years ago. Black people are dead. The native blacks in America, those blacks whose ancestors were slaves in America, are dead. The only question today is, can we be brought back to life? Now, anybody that understands life and death understands that to be brought back is a miracle. So it is going to take a miracle to put this group right in America. And that miracle will never happen. So that's why old Five-Star always tell y'all, what you do is you need to separate yourselves. Try to do as much as you can to set up a future so that your children can survive, so that at some point your offspring will get their liberation. And it would have been because we set up a situation for them to do so. But that generation that came before us put us in the gas chambers, put us in hell, put us in a hell that's worse than slavery. We are dead. That is what black people are today. They talked about power on that panel. Okay? And somebody said on that panel a very true statement. And pretty much what I've been saying from day one is that the white man's declaration of black inferiority has been accepted by black people. That is what no one wants to talk about out here today, is that the condition that you're in this country in 2020 is by your own design. You keep complaining about white folks because they're your daddy. Now, what I want to talk about is just make very brief points that each panelist had discussed. And in those points, you'll find the prophetic nature of black folk. See, let me show you something. You ain't gonna learn nothing new. There's nothing new out here to learn. No new knowledge will be created. God has already created everything for man. in the beginning. Man's only job was to find out exactly what it was. And we did that over thousands of years ago. So what you're doing is engaging over in America in an old game. And what we're doing is collectively is we're pushing each other to the gas chamber as slowly as possible just to survive, just to get along with these white folks. Black folk
Okay.
are killing a certain.
Okay. Anybody got any comments so far? What this guy talking about? Anybody got any comments on what he's saying? Okay. What you got, Zaya?
I didn't get to hear all of it because there's a service guy working on a washout, so of course I'm running up and down the steps. But I guess I don't like the part where he say that it's by our design. So,
Right. Yeah. I don't like that either. Yeah, I don't like it either. He on another road, I guess.
now
Yeah.
I accept the fact that we're here because of what our ancestors did, and we have to bring about change. In other words, we can't repeat history. We have to see what went wrong, where they went awry, where they went astray, and do better, so that we're where our Creator wants us to be in reference to the grand scheme of things that He has for us. The destiny that He had set for us to prosper and do the right thing by Him.
Okay.
But I disagree with. I mean, is it something about the way I carry myself, the way I express myself that tells the dominant society, jump on her, do what you want to do to her, blah, 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 ain't nothing, like that, or hurt people. I don't get that. I don't.
Right. Yeah, he kind of delusional a little bit when it comes to that. Yeah. Anybody else got a comment? I'm gonna let a little more play. Then I'm gonna read a chapter out of Jasher, and then I'm gonna go into the lesson. Okay, a little more play.
Segment of our community every year so they can survive. So we're in this era. We're in a new era, and it's called the era of Black genocide. And we were killed off, like I always say, around 50 years ago. Now, these black people had this meeting 48 years ago. Let's just go down the laundry list in no particular order. They all agreed that black people practice a slave culture. By the way, you can go and see this video on YouTube. It's called, Is It Too Late? It's a panel discussion of black leaders in 1972 on Tony Brown's journal. Just go look it up. Okay? Now, Dr. Cheek spoke. And Dr. Cheek was the president of Howard University. And he said that if things continue to go as they were, that HBCUs will become waste grounds. They will become institutions where white folk will go. Some of those institutions will become majority white institutions. Okay? What has happened? Another panelist said that we got to understand that the black man is no longer necessary. So therefore, the white man must commit genocide. He brought you over here to be a slave. He never intended for you to be free, and you got free. Now he doesn't need you. So what he's doing, he can't deport you. So he's trying to kill you off. And in the process of killing you off, he's going to maim you. That's what the whole turning you into homosexuals is about. It's to maim you while killing you off. You know, shot a person in the foot. Listen, you have it. Okay? They agreed that, look, we practice a slave culture. We don't have any institutions. Okay? I'm 5-star 52 years old, so he remembers those black institutions, how they tore down the community hospital where he lived and put the doctors at that community hospital was so brilliant that they built a little shrine to them because they had shipped them out to Emory, Grady, Northside, all in other places where white folk needed them. And now that area is nothing but a wasteland. We had a mental health facility right in my neighborhood, closed. So we have no institutions. Why? Because integration wasn't integration. It actually was assimilation. It was genocide. It was destruction. And black people have been destroyed. We have moved into a situation now where America guarantees foreigners a better way of life than it does its own citizens. America guarantees foreigners a better way of life than its own citizens. Black folk don't understand immigration. You have to understand immigration from the white mindset. Been over here with this devil for 500 years. You need to understand how he thinks. Immigration is used for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to control blacks. There's no other purpose for immigration in America. Let me give you some information and how immigration has been used to control the black population. And now, in this dispensation of time, is immigration and abortion. They want to work in consort to diminish the black population in America. In 1790, do you know the total black population in America was at 19.3%? In 1790, we were slaves, and almost 20% of America's population. By 1940, we had that percentage had been decreased down to 9.8% of the U.S. population because they used immigration. They let in all these white criminals from Europe. Have y'all forgotten that Georgia was a prison colony? Don't forget that. And then we didn't see that black population, the black population didn't start to increase until after 1940. That was at the height of segregation when they no longer had control. Well, actually, that's when they stopped letting foreigners in the country. Our population increases when these crackers stop letting foreigners into America. And that's why if you look at the percentage of the black population in this country, it increased from 9.8% in 1940 to 2000, almost 12.3%. And these crackers saw that and have brought in over 100 million foreigners and then co-opted that black woman and got her killing off almost half the black population in America today. She's killed more babies than King Leopold of the Congo to continue this genocide that went in. We are dead people. Integration led that. Integration killed black people. Huh? These people admitted that black people need to practice a separatist position, not integration. Integration was a position that was accepted by the elite. See, the elite, black elites are nothing more than the house Negro. And the majority of the blacks in America are field Negroes. We're cotton pickers. And our leaders today are Uncle Tom. They're in the house. And that is the group that has killed us all. They talked about the unity of the whole black family. Dorothy Height, the Negro Coalition, the National Coalition of Negro Women talked about the unification of the family, not homosexuality. See, they had recognized the disintegration of the black family by 1972, and their solution, the black woman's solution in 1972, was the unification of the family, a man, a woman, and a child. Not what you are around here trying to do today. Instead of bringing the black man back to raise his children, you want to take that child and turn that child into a homosexual and then send that black man to prison.
Okay. Comments? Any comments? Okay. Comments on what the brother said. Any comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I get that last part. I disagree that we're dead people. Now some of us might be asleep, and you know we got quite a few that's got addiction problems. But all that stuff is by design and not by our design. That's by the white man design.
Right.
Okay. Um, but I didn't know anything about a national coalition for Negro women.
Right. Yeah, they have that. It's and it was a lady that was on that panel. You'll see later in the class that was representative of that, and so it's still going now. Yeah. So it's that panel right there. I think those women eventually became integrated with it. It's all women, and a lot of the views that women have today comes from that. Come out of that. Yeah.
Because we're finding that all these organizations has been organized by the cracker, not organized by our people.
Right, exactly. Right.
The urban league, Black Caucus.
Right. So back earlier when we first started the video, and you had mentioned that you don't consent with the fact that we are dead. Well, when you look at it from the perspective of Boule, yeah, we are dead. They dead because, like you said, they
Oh yeah, I get that part. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you have anything else?
No, thank you.
All right. So we're gonna. Anybody else have any comments on what we said? I'm gonna play it. It's got a few more minutes. I'm gonna play it, and then we'll go to the Book of Jasher, and then go into the class.
Then they got into an argument about power, and it took Reverend Albert Cleves, former head of the Shrine of the Black Madonna, which is where I got most of my books in the 90s and my early 20s after I got out of the military. It is what it is. Ain't nothing you can do to me. I kill everybody. And he had to remind them that black people in this country don't have power because we don't have any black institutions. The only way you get power is to build institutions. That's why, notice, that was a black Indian, that was an Indian governor in Louisiana. Now, you niggas are looking at some Indian woman, Cleopatra Ptolemy Harris, to vote for. You voted for another foreign black. But you ain't. Notice, we've been on here 500 years and have not occupied the highest office in the land, but yet some black man came from Kenya and got the office. Now we're dealing with Cleopatra Ptolemy Harris that came way from Asia, and now she's vying for the office. And who is at the bottom, scrambling at the bottom of the ship still? Yo, niggas. Dick Gregory talked about our diet, sickle cell anemia. Like Dick Gregory said in 1972, sickle cell anemia would not be a problem if black people ate correctly. Sickle cell anemia is associated with black people's diet. Every problem that black people have over here, with the exception of physical nature of white supremacy, can be attributed directly to what we eat. and Republicans and Democrats, Donald Trump, old Jim Crow Biden. Look at Julius Malema over in South Africa in the Economic Freedom Fighters Party that he created. You need to create your own political party. You're not going to get anything from a wolf in a box. Okay? Now, how many black institutions in America do we have? Black people in this country is hanging about one thread and one thread only. There's only one black institution left. And the white man has already made inroads into getting rid of that institution because he funds all the black churches. That's why if you look up the makeup of the black church as it is today in 2020, it's over 80% women, black homosexuals, and a few black folk in there who really is trying to con their way into heaven. And the preacher is nothing more than a black pimp. You understand? So with black people, because we practice a slave culture, we have never really practiced what the white man in America, what our slave master is able to practice in his dominance over us. He's able to practice white unity without uniformity. E pluribus unum. Black folk run around here, Muslims, Hebrews, Nation of Islam, NAACP, SCLC, BLM, every other organization, but don't know how to practice unity. And like they said in 1972, and Malcolm said 20 years before that, you must be unified around your blackness. Then you can deal with whatever differences you bring to the table. We don't care if you're a Muslim. We don't care if you're some type of Hebrew. We don't care if you're a Kemet, a commission. We don't care if you're a Christian. But you must understand that you must be black first. You have to be black before you're a Christian. You have to be black before you are a Muslim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You must be black before you are a black Hebrew. You must be black before you are like me. I go back to ancient king. See, that's the land of the blacks. So I'm right there where I'm supposed to be. Okay? And that slave culture is what led to our death. Busing. Well, black folk today call it school choice. The whole notion that the slave master can educate your children better than you. Oh, bastard children. Blacks in this society have the same value system. It doesn't matter if they're rich or poor. Rich black women run around with bastard children. Poor black women run around with bastard children. Rich black women kill babies, abort babies at a astronomical clip. Poor black women do the same thing. Wow. The bottom line is this. And, we support foreigners. Not only has America let in over 100 million foreigners into America, over 65 million Mexicans, but now they control the businesses in our neighborhood. The next thing that they're going to control, and I give them about 5 and 10 years from, let's give it about 10, 25, they're going to live in the houses in those neighborhoods. You're going to be dead. Okay? Because you are a black integrationist. Over 90% of all blacks who live in this country are integrationists. Because most of us work for the white man, live off the white man. We are nothing more than foot soldiers for white supremacy. Integration is annihilation. You're nothing but a foot soldier for white supremacy. What is a foot soldier? Well, a foot soldier goes and he does the work that those in power don't want to do. He runs down the rabbit hole, chase after the Japanese over in the Mariana Islands. That's a foot soldier. He does the dirty work. And that's what black folk are doing to each other. We're just doing the dirty work the white folk don't want to do. But we're being ran to the gas chambers all the same. And so y'all had better wake up and understand that. Is it too late? Well, it was too late in 1972. Elijah Muhammad even called in and told you. Okay? So we're already gone. Finished. Now, for those few blacks that I understand who are not, you got to get away from wherever black people live. Don't move where white folk live. We have to build our own towns. When we build our own areas to live, we cannot not allow other blacks to enter. We must keep them out as fiercely as we keep the white man out, because they've chosen their life. Let them die like they did in Sodom and Gomorrah. God had to force you on. Look.
Okay. Any comments? Any comments?
It was about the third week.
Okay, let me bring you in. Okay.
Did he say don't let black people in?
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, he kind of over the top. Yeah. Well, so I wanted to talk about some of the things he was talking about was when he's not understand the fact that who we are. So, but when you understand who we are, he said one of the things he mentioned was that we eat we don't eat right. Well, we got laws and statutes and commandments surrounding us about what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat. That's one of the signs to let you know right there that we are the Israelites. Okay, and that's killing us. That's actually killing us. You know. Yeah, you got to turn your mic off or mute your mic. So yeah, so we got some you know, that's one of the signs who we are. Because of the, you know, like you saying, what Dick Gregory had mentioned about the diabetes is all part of curses. And then one of the things that's always amazed me, you know, and it's all, you can only associate it really with people that's awakened, but the bank, the church, the school, you know, fast food restaurants, all those places are abominations to us, but we don't see it. That's the first thing we do. Like I said, when you go back to the so-called educated blacks, these places that they uphold. These are these places they run to. Every Sunday morning, they're gonna be in the church house. They're gonna be at the schoolhouse. They're gonna run and make sure they in good standings with the bank. They all up in the fast food restaurants. So, and that always amazed me. I just looked at it because when I started understanding the scriptures and what the Most High, who I was and what the Most High had for us, I seen, like the brother said, we've been set off in a trap because everything we doing, this whole place, is a number of trap. And then another thing he don't understand is, like I said, he was saying that we need to go do this and we need to go do that. Now we under punishment by the Most High, and he got an appointed time for that to be over with. So you can do all you want to do. The prophecies and what the Most High spoke was going to run its course. So, you know, I don't subscribe to that because, you know, I know I'm Israelite. And then another thing was he talked about bastards. And that's one of the main things I've been saying for over and over again. It wasn't no two things about that I noticed people not paying attention to. Or Moses always talk about widows in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and how he charging the priesthood and charging the king to deal with the widows. Well, there ain't no such thing as no widow now. And then another thing was bastards. Wasn't no bastards in Israel, in ancient Israel, but it's bastards all over the place today. And so that's a problem. Just like you know, like he was talking about they got foot soldiers. All that ties into, you know, the identifying who we are as that we the Israelites and we under the curses. Because it's nothing that we can really do about it, except you know, like Habakkuk said, tarry and pray to the Most High for understanding and patience and all that, and tarry until the point of time for him to do what he's gonna do. we already know that he prophesied that he's coming, and help us and deliver us, and that he's going to judge our enemy. So those are the things that we have to understand and do when you understand who we are. And like I said before, we Israelites. We got so many people that don't understand that we are people, and we Israelites. We come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So with that being said, anybody else have any comments?
Shalom, shalom.
Okay.
Leonard, what is your understanding of a widow?
A widow is a woman that's she either outlived her husband that passed away, or her husband like a lot of times in war, the husband got killed, and she's still alive. And then another one is that he she was put away, but she never remarried nobody else. So those are widows.
Okay. And so what are the Levites charged for the concerning the widow?
To support them. It's no different than what the 11 tribes doing for the Levites. Just the Levites have the Levites doing the work in the temple for the whole of Israel. So the 11 tribes have to bring 10% of their produce or whatever it is that they're doing to the temple to support the Levites. And the Levites in turn, responsible to take care of the Levites in return is responsible for the people, which is for the sin and for the people's well-being. The Most High puts that charge on them. Yeah.
Do we have any charge as it relates to the BASTARDS? Do we have any charge as it relates to them, or once again we're just taking care of those among us that are in need? Or
well, it's a system. It's a system in place. You got to let them know it's a system in place when you understand how it all works. Just like we looked at Lord, how Lord comes down. It's an order to that. And where Lord is saying it's an order to the man as being over his household. He got responsibilities that that the Most High didn't charge him with through the laws and statutes. The mother has responsibilities. The kids have responsibilities. Everybody has responsibilities that they have to perform within Israel. And like I was saying before, he cast us out over here because we kept dealing with idols, and we looking at the repercussions of that. Him casting us out. Like I said, it wasn't it was widows all over the place because there wasn't no emphasis on the things that women have emphasis on now. It was about what the Most High said, and they created his commandment.
right.
Yeah. So, but now that ain't the case, because it's all about, like I was just talking about, whenever I start playing the video for the class, you're gonna see that it had a women's group that was just forming back in 1972. That's where a lot of this stuff that's going on now, it came from there. So they thinking outside of what they're supposed to be doing as a Hebrew Israelite woman. That's not even being factored in the equation.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. And another thing I was gonna say too was it's you look at the fact that what we're looking at is the so-called powers that be, which is the Edomites and the Boule. They well, I wouldn't really consider Boule because they robots, whatever they tell them to do, but it's no different than what the Pharaoh was doing back in the day. He said, "Let us deal wisely with them because who they was, and what they do. They were trying to reduce our population. Well, they're doing the same thing now. From what the brother was just saying about the abortions, you know, and all the stuff that's going on, how they, you know, they reducing our population right now. Our eating habits, not keeping the dietary laws, you know, and then the circumcision. That's directly tied to the male, because he said if he's not he's an Israelite, he ain't circumcised, he's a child of destruction. So all these things are directly tied to the Most High law, statutes, and judgments, which is part of the curses that He cast us off over here. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Anybody else have anything? Okay. Like I was saying before, I'm gonna read out of the book of Jasher. I'm gonna read chapter 79, and then I'm gonna go into the video I was telling you about is it too late for Black America? It's a discussion with the so-called Black leaders of the day in 1972. We're gonna let it play some of that. Okay. I'm in Jasher chapter 79. It says, and in those days Moses feeding the flock of Raul the Midian, his father-in-law, beyond the wilderness of Sin, and the stick which he took from his father-in-law was in his hand. And it came to pass one day that a kid goat strayed from the flock, and Moses pursued it and came to the mountain of God at Horeb. And when he came to Horeb, the Lord appeared unto him in the bush, and he found the bush burning with fire, but the fire had no power over the bush to consume it. And Moses was greatly astonished at this sight, wherefore the bush was not consumed. He approached to see this mighty thing, and the Lord called unto Moses out of the fire and commanded him to go down to Egypt, to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to send the children of Israel from his service. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go, return to Egypt, for all those men who sought thy life are dead, and thou shalt speak unto Pharaoh to send forth the children of Israel from his land. And the Lord showed him to do signs and wonders in Egypt before the eyes of the Pharaoh and the eyes of his subjects, in order that they might believe that the Lord had sent him. And Moses hearkened to all that the Lord had commanded him, and he returned to his father-in-law and told him the thing. And Raul said to him, Go in peace. And Moses rose up to go to Egypt, and he took his wife and his son with him, and he was at an inn in the road, and the angel of God came down and sought an occasion against him, and he wished to kill him on account of his firstborn son, because he had not circumcised him and had transgressed the covenant which the Lord God had made with Abraham. So we see right here this example of what I just said about the circumcision. So the angel was getting ready to kill Moses' firstborn son because he wasn't circumcised. It says 10, for Moses had hearkened to the words of his father-in-law, which had spoken to him not to circumcise his firstborn son. Therefore he circumcised him not. And Zipporah saw the angel of the Lord seeking an occasion against Moses, and she knew that this thing was owing to him not circumcising his son Gershom. And Zipporah hastened and took a sharp rock, stones that were there, and she circumcised her son and delivered her husband and her son from the hands of the angel of the Lord. And Aaron, the son of Aram, brother of Moses, was in Egypt, walking at the riverside on that day, and the Lord appeared to him in that place, and he said to him, Go now toward Moses in the wilderness. And he went to meet him in the mountain of God, and he kissed him. And Aaron lifted up his eyes and saw Zipporah, the wife of Moses, and her children, and he said unto Moses, Who are these unto thee? And Moses said unto him, They are my wife and sons, which God gave to me in Midian. And the thing grieved Aaron on account of the woman and her children. And Aaron said to Moses, send away the woman to her children and her children, that they may go to her father's house. Moses hearkened to the words of Aaron, and he did so. It says, and Zipporah returned with her children, and they went to the house of Raoul and remained there until the time arrived when the Lord had visited his people and brought them forth from Egypt from the hand of Pharaoh. And Moses and Aaron came to Egypt to the community of the children of Israel, and they spoke to them all the words of the Lord, and the people rejoiced in exceedingly great rejoicing. And Moses and Aaron rose up early that next day, and they went to the house of Pharaoh, and they took in their hands the stick of God. And when they came to the king's gate, 2 young lions were confined there with iron instruments, and no person went out or came in from before them, unless those whom the king ordered to come. When the conjurers came and withdrew the lion by their incantations, and this brought them to the king. And Moses hastened and lifted up his stick upon the lions and loosed them. And Moses and Aaron came in to the king's house. The lions also came with them in joy, and they followed them and rejoiced as dog rejoices over his master when he comes from the field. And when the Pharaoh saw this thing, he was astonished at it, and he was greatly terrified at the report, for their appearance was like the appearance of children of God. And Pharaoh said to Moses, what do you require? And they answered him, saying, the Lord God of heaven, of the Hebrews, has sent us to thee to say, send forth my people, that they may serve me. And when Pharaoh heard the words, he was greatly terrified before them, and he said to them, go today and come back to me tomorrow. And they did according to the word of the king. And when they had gone, Pharaoh sent for Balaam the musician, and Jannes and Jambres his sons, and to all the musicians and conjurers and counselors which belonged to the king, and they all came and sat before the king. And the king told them all the words which Moses and his brother Aaron had spoken to him. And the musician said to the king, but how came the men to thee on account of the lions which were confined at the gate? And the king said, because they lifted up their rods against the lions and loosed them, and came to me, and the lions also rejoiced at them as the dog rejoices to meet his master. And Balaam the son of Beor, the musician, answered the king, saying, these are none else than musicians like ourselves. Now therefore send for them and let them come, and we will try them. And the king did so. And in the morning, Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron to come for the king, and they took the rod of God and came to the king and spoke to him, saying, thus says the Lord God of the Hebrews, send my people that they may serve me. And the king said to them, but who will believe you that you are the messengers of God, that you come to me by his orders? Now therefore give a wonder or a sign in this matter, and these the words which you speak will be believed. And Aaron hastened and threw the rod out of his hand before Pharaoh and before his servants, and the rod turned into a serpent. And the sorcerers saw this, and they cast each man his rod upon the ground, and they became serpents. And the serpent of Aaron's rod lifted up his head and opened his mouth to swallow the rods of the musicians. And Balaam the musician answered and said, this thing has been from the days of old, that a serpent should swallow its fellow, and that living things devour each other. Now therefore restore it to a rod as it was at first, and we will also restore our rods as they were at first. And if thy rod shall swallow our rod, then shall we know that the Spirit of God is in thee, and if not, thou art only artificial like unto ourselves. And Aaron hastened and stretched forth his hand, caught a hold of the serpent's tail, and it became a rod in his hand. And the sorcerer did the like with their rods, and they got hold, each man the tail of his serpent, and they became rods as at first. And when they were restored to rods, the rod of Aaron swallowed up their rods. And when the king saw this thing, he ordered the books of the records that related to the kings of Egypt to be bought. And they bought the books of records and the chronicles of the kings of Egypt, in which all the idols of Egypt were inscribed. For they thought of finding therein the name of Jehovah, but they found it not. And the Pharaoh said to Moses and Aaron, Behold, I have not found the name of your God written in the book, and his name I know not. And the counselors and the wise men answered the king, We have heard that the God of the Hebrews is a son of the wise, the son of the ancient kings. And Pharaoh turned to Moses and Aaron and said to them, I know not the Lord whom you have declared, neither will I send his people. And they answered and said to the king, The Lord God of gods is his name, and he proclaimed his name over us for the days from the days of our ancestors, and sent us, saying, Go to the Pharaoh and say unto him, Send my people that they may serve me. Now therefore send us, that we may take a journey for 3 days in the wilderness, and there may sacrifice to him. For from the days of our going down into Egypt, he has not taken from our hands either burnt offerings, oblations, or sacrifices. And if thou wilt not send us, his anger will be kindled against thee, and he will smite Egypt, either with the plagues or with the sword. And the Pharaoh said to them, Tell me now his power and his might. And they said to him, He created the heavens and the earth, the seas and all their fishes. He formed the light, created darkness, caused rain upon the earth, and watered it, and made the herbage and grass to sprout. He created man and beast, and the animals of the forest, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea. By his mouth they live and die. Surely he created thee in thy mother's womb, and put into thee the breath of life, and reared thee, and placed thee upon the royal throne of Egypt. And he will take thy breath and soul from thee, and return thee to the ground which thou hast taken. And the anger of the king was kindled at their words. And he said to them, But who among all the gods of nations can do this? My river is mine own, and I have made it for myself. And he drove them from him, and he ordered the labor upon Egypt to be more severe than it was yesterday and before. And Moses and Aaron went out in the king's presence, and they saw the king of Israel in an evil condition, for the taskmasters had made their labor exceedingly heavy. And Moses returned to the Lord and said, Why hast thou ill-treated thy people? For since I came to speak to Pharaoh what thou didst send me for, he has exceedingly ill used the children of Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou wilt see that which an outstretched hand and a heavy plagues Pharaoh will send the children of Israel from his land. And Moses and Aaron dwelt among their brethren, the children of Israel in Egypt. And as for the children of Israel, the Egyptians embittered their lives with the heavy work which they had imposed upon them. Okay? What I just read was Jasher chapter 79. Anybody got any comments? What they heard? Okay.
What? Well, anyway, so uh, Sephora, is that how you pronounce her name? Yeah, Sephora.
Yeah, support.
Yeah, Sephora. Her dad told Moses not to circumcise his son. That's the first time I heard that.
Right. Yeah. He advised him not to. Yeah.
Mm.
The firstborn.
So, so he must not have been Hebrew, right?
Well, he came from Midian is one of the sons from Moses' second wife, Kukut, after Sarah had died.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's
Right. Okay. That's it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay. Okay. No comments?
No comments, thank you.
Okay. So what we're gonna do now is well, I want to shed a light on something right quick. Got to do with the typology thing. If you notice, he told Moses, all the people that seek thy life is gone, right? So where do we see that in the New Testament? Go over here to Matthew right quick. All we got to shine a light on this typology.
Oh, were you asking a question, or that was just kind of rhetorical?
Right, okay, show it to you. Okay, so it says first of all, you gotta understand this is this what they got in Genesis in Matthew chapter 2. It ain't they got it from the story of Moses, because the Pharaoh trying to kill Moses. He heard that a child was born, and Pharaoh trying to kill him. So they took that story and you pick it up in Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto Joseph in a dream, saying, "Arise, take the young child." They get this from Moses, the life of Moses. Take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt, and be there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. That's what Pharaoh was doing, seeking. He had heard about Moses. He was seeking to kill Moses. Said when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, departed into Egypt, and he was there until the death of Herod. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of by the word of the
Right.
prophet, out of Egypt shall come outside. So right here we see where he said all the people that's looking for you, seeking your life, they dead. You can go back, and they got that narrative from the story of Moses and put it in the life of Jesus. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go and find this. I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna play some of this video about what we was dealing with earlier. Okay.
Can Black people survive culturally and physically in America? Can we ever be a part of the existing white institution? Or should we be developing our own?
This is 1972.
Develop solutions to our dilemma fast enough to counteract the present rate of growth of the oppressive factors built into this society by institutional white racism. As Black people, we must deal with the issue. Is it too late? Tonight on Black Journal, Reverend Ralph Abernathy, Imamu Hamidi Baraka, Dr. James Keith, Reverend Albert Clay, Congressman Charles J. Jr., Mr. Dick Gregory, Miss Dorothy Height, Mr. Roy Ennis, Mr. Vernon Jordan, Dr. John Borsell. What is the present condition of Black America? And what will Black America's future be? Or will there be a future Black America? In essence, is it too late? The special Black Journal program is designed to discuss that complicated question. For the next 90 minutes, we will present a live, unedited, two-way communication system between you and our Congress of Black spokesmen. We will be using television as an instrument of positive social reform, allowing Black America, for the first time, to question members of her leadership and make herself heard collectively. This program is being aired live only in the Eastern and Central time zones. By calling regional phone-in centers in 8 cities, you can address questions to our assembled panel. Answering these phones are members of the Friends of Black Journalists. You can call the regional number nearest you, and in the East, the regional area code and numbers are, for the Boston area, 617-491-5600. For the New York area, 212-765-5960. For the Washington, D.C. area, 202-628-1222. In the Midwest, the area codes and numbers are, for the Chicago area, 312-591-6400. For the Cincinnati area, 513-621-7200. For the Detroit area, 313-871-8700. In the South, the area codes and numbers are, for the New Orleans area, 504-486-5511. For the St. Louis area, 314-725-2460. We do appreciate your patience. Please understand that we cannot use all of the questions we receive, but every effort will be made to use as many as possible. We're also thankful to the members of the panel for accepting this invitation, understanding that their allotted time for discussion will be less than they are normally afforded in television appearances. We have asked that their responses be as brief as possible. This is our first attempt in the Black Journal series at using television for a live two-way communication, but we do not intend it to be the last. Indeed, there are many other Black spokesmen, but our physical and technical capabilities have limited us. We do want the public to understand that our Black leadership does include persons not on this panel. Sister Fannie Lou Hamer, president of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, was scheduled to appear with us and has suddenly and unfortunately been hospitalized. She sends her regret and her love. In selecting tonight's panel, we're attempted to bring together a diversity of positions and philosophies, held together by the common thread of concern for all Black people. The St. Louis Argus, a Black community paper, describes this event as follows. I quote, "All over America, Black men and women of purpose will be sitting down with their children to view this historic program, to ponder on its message, to listen, to learn, to go forward." Each panelist will now make a brief opening statement, after which we will place your questions before them. Reverend Ralph D. Abernathy, President, Southern Christian Leadership Council.
The Southern Christian Leadership Conference, known to many throughout our nation as SCLC, is that organization that was founded by Martin Luther King Jr. and used as an instrument to redeem the soul of America. SCLC is now a national organization working across the South and in the major cities of the North for the rights and the needs of Black and poor people. Basically, we organize masses of people in nonviolent community action movements and programs. We're working for the full liberation of Black people through economic development and control of our Black communities. We believe in amassing the collective power of Blacks, other minorities, all people, and progressive forces. We seek a radical change in our national priorities, a redistribution of wealth and power, and the creation of a nation of peace and human decency. We also seek to develop and to strengthen our international ties to movements of other people across the world. SCLC is that organization that will see to it that America feeds its hungry, house its ill-housed, provide adequate medical care for all of its citizens and live up to its pronouncements and its dreams.
Imamu Amidi Baraka, Executive Committee, Congress of African People. Congress of African People is a Pan-African nationalist organization because we believe in the unification of Black people, Africans, wherever we are in the world. We also believe that we will not survive and develop unless we are able, through unity, to achieve self-determination, self-respect, self-reliance, and self-defense. We also work to unify diverse groups of Black people, African people. We believe that there should be unity without uniformity, that all Black groups must be able to work together around common purposes. Before I continue, I would like to state that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is with us by phone from his home, and along with him is Minister Louis Farrakhan. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad will, at the end of the visible panel, make a position statement by phone from his home. Our next statement will be made by Dr. James Cheek, President of Howard University.
One of the major issues facing our nation in this decade is the issue of quality education. Many Americans, Black and white, assume that quality education can occur only through integration, where integration has come to mean the destruction or closing of Black colleges and institutions of learning, and Black students enrolling in predominantly white institutions. At the level of higher education, that is beyond high school, this attitude enacted into public policy has resulted in the continuous deterioration of one of the nation's most important, most strategic, and most essential groups of institutions, the Black colleges and universities. After more than a century of service in educating and training most of the nation's Black college-trained population, these institutions have experienced, during the past 10 years, serious erosions in their resources, which have seriously affected the quality of their services and which today threaten their vitality and, from a number of standpoints, threaten their continued existence. Unless a major national effort is launched to change the public attitude toward the Black colleges and universities and to provide for them substantial sums of financial support, many of them will not exist by 1980. And those that do survive will have become either predominantly white in student body and faculty, or so poor in quality as to render them meaningless as collegiate level institutions. In such an event, America's Black population will be deprived of a major resource that is essential in our efforts to achieve for ourselves and the nation as a whole true social justice. The destruction and impoverishment of Black colleges and universities will contribute to the destruction of any possibility of this nation achieving true democracy, true freedom, true equality, and true justice. It will be a national tragedy if America, through indifference, disinterest, and outright bigotry, allows the Black institutions of this country to become academic wastelands. It is very clear that the development of strong and distinguished Black institutions, not simply the inclusion of Blacks in white institutions, is indispensable for the attainment of racial equality in this society.
Yeah, so listening to what he just said, you know, it's baffling because what he said, he prophesied that all that didn't happen. So what was the big idea when King came on the scene that you allowed him to push us toward integration? Because everything he said was gonna happen if we integrated, it didn't happen. We went to the dogs. But these same Negroes allowed somebody to come on the scene and push them in a direction that they already knew what the outcome was gonna be. That's crazy. Yeah. Comments? Oh, okay.
Shalom, shalom. So the
Okay.
report that the gentleman just gave, that was a report that was given before the whole integration movement, and they were
Right.
speculating what the result of integration would be.
Right. This is assessment.
Right. So that's how we
That
know
was his
most of
assessment.
our black leaders are bought off because
Right,
and
right.
even
The
before,
thing.
huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, everything he just said didn't happen to Black America. And
Exactly.
so you know that how is you letting somebody come on the scene uh, and strong on everybody and take them in a direction to go toward integration, knowing what the outcome of integration was going to be.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Crazy. Yeah.
So our when you really understand it, our so-called black leaders are no better than the preacher.
Right. Right. That's exactly what Deuteronomy 28 says. So they and then they, like the other brother said earlier, is that they white folks. They house they house Negroes, and the majority of the people are field Negroes. But the
Mm-hmm.
ones that's up around them, their whole objective is they trying to be like them.
Right.
They white. Everything about them is they thinking like them. Like we talking about the reason why nobody can't see uh who the Lord of Hosts is, because you thinking like them. They can't see who the Lord of Hosts is. So you thinking like them, that's why you can't see. Yeah. So we
Right. And
yeah,
there's a passage of scripture that comes to mind, and I don't have the where it's found, but it says something about being led to the slaughter, like sheep being led to the slaughter. What was the context of that scripture? Are you familiar with that, Leonard?
that's Isaiah 53.
Right. And so when he talks about
Qualification.
like sheep being led to a slaughter, what was the context for that?
We done lost our way, and we being uh just like a sheep herder do when it's time to slaughter the sheep. The sheep just go right on in where you want them to go to get slaughtered. And
Right.
because we lost our way, lost our culture and everything, we just like sheep being led to the slaughter. Right.
Right.
So, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna play the script right here that
Thank you.
yeah, I'm gonna play the script right here that with I thought it was pretty profound with well, I'm gonna play what this lady said right here. This is the lady I'm talking about right here that has the I'm gonna play with Dick Gregory said first.
Gregory, social commentator. Is it too late? It could be if America insists on dealing with her problems with might instead of solving problems with right. It could be too late if America insists on fighting the sick, beginning insane war in Vietnam and not deal with the sick, insane problems that confront America. It could be too late if America insists at this day and age that we are to run around the world to guarantee foreigners a better way of life than we guarantee our own Indian brothers who we have locked up on the reservation since we stole this country from. Is it too late? It couldn't be too late if America insists on solving her problems with political muscle instead of faith and capability. Miss Dorothy Height, President, National Council of Negro Women.
Yeah, this is the lady right here.
Black women face the double handicap of racism and sexism. And Mary McLeod Bethune recognized this as far back as 1935 when she founded the National Council of Negro Women, because she realized that the black woman, whether she was trained or untrained, stood outside of the mainstream of American opportunity, influence, and power. The National Council of Negro Women has encouraged Black women to assume leadership roles and to serve as catalysts for social change. Today, as a coalition of 25 national organizations, we've realized that it is too late to have divisions. Women from all walks of life, different ages, political persuasion, social and economic backgrounds are mobilized to help increase the strength of the Black family and the whole Black community. The work of the National Council of Negro Women is based on a philosophy that I think could be expressed in 3 words: commitment, unity, and self-reliance. And the energy of its woman power is harnessed to fight such chronic inequities as racism itself, inadequate education and substandard housing, hunger and malnutrition, insufficient child care, drug addiction, the lack of economic opportunities, especially for women and their families in the rural South, and the demeaning conditions facing so many of us as household workers. It is late. It's too late to think about a matriarchy. It is the time to think about the unity of the whole family, and women of the National Council of Negro Women feel that in this day, Black women can make a difference for justice and liberation.
Mr. Roy?
Right. So she had good intentions, but that's a project that went horribly wrong. So anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fast forward this to, I thought it was profound what Farrakhan had to say. I mean, let me get it. What Muhammad had to say.
Salvation of the Black man in America. Going on.
Thank you. That was the statement from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
I missed it.
Again, we invite your questions to this distinguished panel. Make note of the phone-in center nearest you. In the east, the regional numbers are in Boston, in the Boston area.
It's too late. I'm coming to that and right. It is too late.
Here you go.
Please. Opening statement of the Nation of Islam by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Go ahead, please.
I say it is too late for people to think that the Black man suggests for the togetherness of white America. It is too late for this. It is too late to adopt the politics of the white man of America. It is too late for us to try to integrate with the white man. It is too late for us to continue the religion called Christianity that the white man organized for himself. And for those who would want to be in such religion, it is too late to talk of integration unless we want to be lost in such integration. We have not never been such thing as a white person unless the white man integrated in our family be us white. By nature, we are different two people. We cannot claim ourselves white if we are not born of the white. There's so many black people want to be white rather than black. Therefore, they will speak in that direction of being white. But I say it is too late. want to taste hellfire, it is too late. The end of the white man's time have arrived. And therefore, what right do the black man want to go along with a person that is doomed, divinely doomed? That person should go ahead and take it on, and we take our on. Salvation has come for the so-called American Negro, the black man of America. Why should not he be wise enough to accept it? Dear God have come in, not say in no spooky manner. He's in person and offering to the black man of America money, good home, friendship in all walk of life. I believe that you know these things is now true. I don't say that I seek the white man's respect for us. We surely got it. We went to Washington, and the white government of America honored me better than all the black people in America ever have respected me for 40 years. They led me up Pennsylvania Avenue like I was a king or queen, pardon me, say wicked, like if I was a prince from the new government somewhere else. I think the white people, they did a wonderful honor to me twice that I visited Washington. They have never disgraced me in the way of trying to mock me as a messenger. No, they honored me, and I thank them for the honor they give to me that my black people never dared to do. Out of Washington or in Washington. So this is true, that they know more about me than my own people. They know that God has raised me up to teach the truth. They don't argue with me about it. They don't try to mock me, disgrace me. They are very nice to me. But it's my black people that is the one who does the mocking and disgracing they try to do. But I want to say this, and it is true. You cannot disgrace a true servant of God. You disgrace yourself. I don't say this trying to say anything against too late. I'm coming to that and right. It is too late for us to go to work, to try to be equal in politics with the white man. You cannot be equal with him in politics that he has made himself. You cannot go and get beside him and he give it to you in office in Washington to be the equal with the white man while you don't know while he knows. He makes them himself. I say we need to make politics of our own. If we want politics, make them of your own. We cannot use his politics because that they are made up of his know-how for self. And this thing that we are after today is something for self and not something for the white man that who has 6,000 years to have made his world, and he has made it. That is no doubt he didn't lose 1 minute in making him a world. do something for self. We have not did nothing for self. I want to beg white people to do something for us. I don't give 2 cents for a black man laying around Washington, Chicago, San Francisco, anywhere in the country, begging white folks to do something for him. Get out and do something for yourself. He said you were free. Take advantage of this freedom. He said that you can't go for self. Go for self, black man. What hinders you if he boldly tell you in the world to go for yourself? We are trying to go for ourselves, we Muslims. We're trying to dignify America wherever we stay. English, wherever we live. We're trying to dignify the country. We're not trying to make the country look ugly. We're trying to make the country to look beautiful because we are living in it and we want to live wherever we live. To be beautiful. We're trying to do something for ourselves, and we are trying to teach our people to do something for themselves. We're not trying to be with the politicians. Black people, we're not trying to out-preach you, brother. We just want to preach the truth. That's all we want to do. Again, we are trying to farm. You may not like farming, but from farming comes everything that we get. Therefore, we're trying to farm. I am begging you all over the country to come in and help. Do these things which I know that you will love me for teaching you to do these things and put it in. We cannot depend on the White House of America. We cannot depend on the livestock of America. We got to depend on something for self. Let us go to the good old thing. If the white man will sell it already or easy to us, and then get out of that place what we have gotten out of it. We no more must do these things about laying around begging the white man for this and that. And I said to the preachers, preach the gospel of joy for self, and don't preach the gospel of begging. This is a shame for us after 400 years and 100 years up from slavery to go and beg white people to give us anything. Go visit ourselves. It's out here. I have here on the south side of Chicago, with the help of my followers, have did things that you never dreamed of doing. We have a program of what we're going to do for the south side in Chicago to show to you in our paper now within a week or so. And you will be happy. We want you. Unemployment is bound to overtake you. I said to you, hunger is bound to overtake you. I said to you, revolution is bound to overtake you. All kinds of bad weather that you have never dreamed of, bound to overtake you. We are in the throes of divine destruction of America. God thinks that America is now setting free of these things. He's in.
Mr. Muhammad? Mr. Muhammad, can you hear me?
Best way is that you and join on to Islam. Islam is the salvation of the black man in America. Join on to it.
Thank you. That was the statement from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Okay. Anybody got any comments on that? We're going to close out on that. Anybody got any comments on that? So I'm gonna give you the video again. It's you want to watch the rest of it. It's Is It Too Late? Black Leaders Discussion, 1972. So like I was saying before, I was saying earlier that the other guy that was Dr. Cheeks was talking, and he said that he prophesied all the things that's happening now to us as a people because of integration. And the guy Muhammad said that Elijah Muhammad said that it's too late to integrate. That was back in 1972. So this before King came on the scene. I mean, well, you know, right around the same time he came on the scene. So we got 10 supposed to be prestigious blacks on this panel right here, and they saying the opposite of what King came and done. And like I said, we're looking at the results of it right now. And the only thing I can say about it is, like I was saying before, the Most High had prophesied. He got prophecies that has to be fulfilled. So it's not about what you conjuring up and what you trying to do. You have to understand that he had prophecies that had to take place. And when you understand that, you have to move according to those prophecies that you understand. And according to the understanding that you have, you making your moves and making decisions according to that. Yeah. So like I said, anybody have any comments before we close out? About the video on what was said? Okay. Okay.
Shalom, shalom. Linda, do you believe that do you see Elijah Muhammad as a man that was bought off, or was he actually you know, speaking and believing that he was being protected by what they call Allah?
Well, the way I see it is the Most High had prophecy that is going to take the place. He said he's going to return to see Israel, to see the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and wake them up. Up in, you know, at that time, it was our leaders. They, you know, even to the day, they don't have the understanding that who we are and understand that we got on this line. They don't have that understanding. So it's like you know, it's like they say, he's trying to go into war to Vietnam with a BB gun. You don't know. They don't know. They don't understand all that.
Right.
So they just lost. But we in a whole. That was in 1972, and here we are 50 years later, and it's a whole different understanding That you know, and the blacks, so many blacks that woke up and found out who they are as a people. So it's a total difference.
Right. So what's your understanding of, you know, how they have assassinated different black leaders, but Minister Farrakhan has the ability to, you know, call the European white devils and all of this, and they don't do anything to him. What is your take on that?
Well, it's you know, it's obvious they got matter of fact, all the people that's on that panel, they bought and paid for it. It's a and they've been doing this that when you look at these people, it makes you think that we didn't progress as a people, and that something is being done about our condition, but that ain't the case.
Right.
That's the only reason they're there. To make you think that we progressing or something being done, but ain't nothing being done. That's their whole purpose is for the masses of the blacks to see them and see that there's some black folks in suits. Same with the entertainment, celebrities, and it's a few of them to see, for us to look at, to keep us in line, make us think that there's progress going on. But all you have to do is look at the numbers, because like I said, look how many. I mean, it's on a regular basis. I'm just going to say basketball. They always have these guys that you ain't heard nothing about, but some kind of way they slip through the crack, and then they end up in the NBA and become superstars. But they ain't know nothing about them. It just happened to stumble. They just happened to see through the cracks and end up there. So my point is, it's black guys like that all over America. Why you only got 29 teams or 30 teams? You can have way more teams than that. It's just enough to keep our mouth shut.
Yeah.
That's all. And you can take that to baseball. You can take it to football. It's Negroes all over the place that that make blow the league up.
Right. And of course, even when we look at the lifestyle of those so-called famous people, whether they're athletes or R&B artists or actors or whatever, their whole life is controlled. They can't go back and give to their communities. I mean, that's like that's against the rule.
Right. Exactly. So it's also, everything is about it's a facade. It's illusions. And it's all about controlling us. And like I said, if it wasn't for the Lord of hosts and what he prophesied over us, we'd be through. But because we had prophecies on us, and now we waking up. That's the only thing that justify the people that's awakened today, because he had already prophesied. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was commenting on what Queen Netta said about it. It would be clear to them if they read the Old Testament instead of few. Yeah, but that's another thing. We've been trained to do that. Go and pluck a verse out, and then like I said, just like an example is the story about Ezekiel 37, the dry bones. You can go into the archives, and there's 3 million sermons on dry bones, but it's only one understanding coming out of it. But they went in there and plucked up something out of there for a sermon, last for about 30, 40 minutes on Sunday, so they can jump around for a minute, and then so they come up with all kind of understandings of that, when it ain't but one understanding or two. That he's gonna raise up the Israelites, the ancient Israelites, from their grave, and they're gonna stand on their feet. Yeah. So with that being said, if nobody else don't have nothing, we're gonna close out. Okay. And I'm gonna say shalom, shalom with another shalom. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and yeah, I'm hoping everybody on here gonna have a big fat question, so we can get into it and make this thing interesting, and do some sharing. Okay. So with that being said, shalom.